Hi everyone, Parul Begum here, your usual host, and today I have a friend from all the way from USA joining us, Donslow Brown, and he's got something very interesting to share. Lot of nuggets he's going to be sharing with us today. Donslow, welcome on board, and thank you for giving us your time to share your knowledge and experience with our audience.
Absolute, Pearl. Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. Okay, so who is Donslow? Donslow Brown is founder of Uncaged Consulting LLC. He is a dynamic leader, a motivational speaker, a coach, an author who empowers individuals and teams through transformative coaching, emotional intelligence, and Bible based principles, inspiring purposeful living and growth. Donslow also won awards, and one of his biggest award is the Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award. So congratulations on that. I know you do quite a lot. This is just a short version of your bio. So what I will say, Donslow, if you like to add anything else about your work, please feel free to share with us.
Well, I have to take the opportunity and mention proudly that I am a father of four dynamic, beautiful, gifted children. They every day is a party, as I like to say. My 11-year-old son, my 10-year-old daughter, my 7 going on 70-year-old son, and my 3-year-old going on 1,000 my son. I'm just a proud dad. Every day they do different things that remind me of things I used to do, but they do it on a much more grander scale. They're just so smart. And also, I'm a proud and thankful, blessed husband of my beautiful wife of 13 years, Alicia Brown. I know it's not on the professional side, but I definitely have to shout out the fact that I am a dad and I am a proud husband.
Absolutely. It's really important to acknowledge that. And that's where our value comes from, family, isn't it? Family is so important. And end of the day, we are human being and our families, that's what it drives us, a lot of us. So thank you for sharing. So today we're going to be talking about effective communication and the difference between speaking and connecting. So
Yes.
Donald, tell me a bit before you go on to the topic, tell me a bit about your work. What exactly you do to help others?
So absolutely. So, I have two particular services I offer, one on the technical side and one on the professional and personal base side. On the technical side, I teach doctors and nurses how to use their computer system. So ultimately, what I would do is I would fly out to a particular site. I would, let's say I'm working with doctors from the ER, right? I would understand their particular workflow, what they do when they first clock in, the first patient they see, the notes that they take, whatever orders they have to place, whatever labs they have to put, whatever the case may be. I understand their workflow, and then from a particular software that they use, I map out their steps, what they need to do. And then I'll teach in the classroom setting A to Z how they can complete their normal workflow from paper to that particular system. And then once that's done, after a few months of doing that, we go into our go live phase where all the different doctors and other medical professionals are using that particular system that me and other trainers are teaching. So that's one portion of what I do. Another side that's really close to my heart is the professional and personal based training. So typically with the that's from the Uncaged Consulting. That's the particular side. That's the business that I use, or rather that I operate through in order to provide those particular consultations or coachings. Essentially, I would have group coaching or virtual coaching where I talk about different things such as effective communication, such as emotional intelligence in the workplace or in life, such as leadership foundations. These are some of the things that, through my various background, I've been able to cultivate and to learn. And I haven't quite made it yet. I haven't arrived at the goal yet. But in the midst of all my knowledge and the things that I've gone through in the past, I've been able to cultivate a particular curriculum. And that's exactly what I do. I teach on professional and personal based coaching and
No,
technical.
thank you for sharing your background. So today's topic, Donslow, we're going to be talking about effective communications and
Absolutely.
the difference between speaking and connecting. So why effective communication is so important?
Absolutely. So one of the things I haven't shared, Parul, is I aside from the technical, aside from the personal and in the business and all that other stuff, the hospital supporting, one of the things that I pride myself in is that I was brought up in a Haitian American household. So the Haitian American household, we speak French, we speak Haitian Creole, and we speak English. So there are three different, languages and three different isms and schisms and cultural differences that we have. And I'm sure you can relate to as well. The things that, our people do that, the Americans may not do, right? So aside from that, I was also in my church, my religious institution. It was a Creole, French, and English speaking church. So so in my time there, both being a member and also being a leader, being brought up in that church and that institution, I had to not only be able to speak to people who spoke a different language, but I had to understand the customs and the tonalities of how they say certain things. Like there's certain words you can say that if I said it with a particular tone, it wouldn't mean the same. Or sometimes there's certain sounds I can make that doesn't mean anything. There's no word, but it has, excuse me, but it has a meaning behind it, right? So I can make a sound, and you can't look up the sound in the dictionary, but if I make the sound with the gesture, you'll understand what I'm trying to say. So again, growing up in a multicultural household, growing up serving in a Haitian Creole French speaking church, there's been a lot of different things, a lot of different elements that have been added onto my skill set, and when it comes to effective communication, I've learned that it's important to understand that when the person doesn't quietly understand what you're saying, whether it be the language or the tonality, sometimes, because again, I didn't always speak French or Creole. So there were times where I had to use other things to reach them. There was other things that I had to do to reach them. And this is beyond, obviously language, beyond writing on a piece of paper, but there was a way I had to reach and connect with them.
Oh, wow. Oh, thank you for sharing. I didn't know that your background, so that's really interesting. I know, living in a multicultural society and growing up in a multicultural household is a whole lot of things that we learn that
Yes.
sometimes other people don't have the opportunity or don't take it for granted. Like they just think, oh, it's just another language, but it
No,
helps
it's
a lot. It helps a lot.
for sure.
So tell us a bit more about, you mentioned about the importance of effective communication, the difference between speaking and connecting with people or connecting.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So everybody has a what's in it for me kind of attitude on the inside, right? And it's not a selfish thing, it's not a wrong thing. But if I'm having a conversation with somebody, the person wants to know what is it that you're saying that not only benefits me, but is going to ultimately establish connection and foundation and relationship, because we all want some kind of relationship, right? We all want some kind of connection. So if I, with the same example, if I'm speaking to a elderly church member, right, who doesn't speak a lick of English, right? If I come to her, it doesn't matter if I come to her with a smile sometimes, or it doesn't matter if I come to her with a piece of paper and say, "Hey, you have to do this," or "We need you to come here for a second." There has to be a way that I appeal to her. So, same example. Let's see if I can. All right, so I remember one time I was an usher at my church. And again, as I mentioned, again, there's a cultural difference. There's the English. So I came to them and I asked them in English, "Hey, can you please sit up front?" And I feel like they understood what I said, right? Because they said they didn't speak English, but I've seen them have conversations in English before, but that's besides the point. So I'm talking to them and they're looking at me like, what are you saying? And I said, "Mommy, please, may you please sit in another row?" And she ignored me. Typical fashion. She said, she turned her head like this. And that was her way of joking with me. And had I had not understand, certain gestures or certain facial, actions that we take, I would have took it offensively. I would have said, "Man, these people, they're so rude. They're so this." No, but when she said like this, I knew she was joking. And then I did it back to her. I said, and then she started laughing. And then from there, she said, "Okay, okay, okay, Shay," which means "okay, sweetheart." And then I helped her up and I led her to the front. So again, with just that simple facial gesture or tonality, again, I was speaking English. I could have, been super professional where, "Excuse me, miss, you need to do this, you need to do that," and go here now. It would have been receptive. I had to understand, what she would understand. I had to use something that would ultimately make her feel comfortable enough and find that common ground ultimately so that we both can move in the direction that we need to go, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. Important point you talk about finding a common ground.
Mhm.
And that's so important for work, for personal life. And you talk
Absolutely.
about, yeah, the other point you mentioned, yes, language. Language is not just a language of English or French, is more about understanding, isn't it? You could be
Absolutely.
speaking English, she could be speaking English, but it's about understanding gesture,
Yes,
which is so important. And when we
absolutely.
misread it, that's where the differences comes in, and we have misunderstanding. So
Hmm.
it's
Absolutely.
so crucial to understand people.
Absolutely, Parul. There's something I teach on in one of my courses called the universal language. And a lot of people don't know that they know the universal languages already. And as a clear example, as I'm talking to you, um, if I told you that I'm having a great day today, so notice how I said I'm having a great day today. My hands opened up, I kind of bounced a little bit. By my gesture, by my body language, which is my universal language, I'm showing you that I believe in what I'm saying. I believe it so much that I hopped and I moved my hand a little bit. But if I said today's a great day today, are you going to believe what I'm
No,
saying?
no,
So we understand that there's a difference because again, my body is the universal language. My body is ultimately what's going to carry or confirm what I'm saying to the individual. With the same lady, if I came to her with my hands crossed, and without any love, without any compassion in my voice and my tone, there's nothing I could have said. Even if I made the facial gesture or I made a sound effect, she wouldn't receive it because at the end of the day, the universal language of the body will ultimately capitalize on what my mouth is saying. So, if anything, in communication and reaching people, it's not necessarily what you say, it's what you do when you're saying it. Makes sense?
absolutely, absolutely. So,
Mhm.
Donslow, tell me about, so do you actually teach effective communication as well to different groups?
So that is one of our courses. Again, right now we're speaking with the professional-based consulting. We focus on effective leadership and foundations. We speak about effective communication and networking. We talk about emotional intelligence in life and in the workplace. And I believe there's one more topic we talk on the professional side. But yeah, those are some of the courses we go over. We talk about.
And where, so you based in the USA,
Yes.
where your client based? They are local or you do international as well?
So, one of the wonderful things about the internet is I can offer my services face to face or internationally. Excuse me one second.
So,
Excuse me. Need some water. Yeah, we have the internet, we have social media, we have Zoom as we're using, right? So ultimately, my services are available all across the globe.
so let's summarize it. If you want to leave your before we give your contact details to people, if you were to leave your final message for our audience, what would that be?
If I were to leave my final
Message or
message,
just, yeah.
absolutely. My final message to my audience would be Know your message. Know ultimately what you're trying to say to somebody. I've stumbled with this in the past. Sometimes I try to say what I think they want to hear. Um, but I think it's important to know your message first. And then as you're saying it, you kind of have to tailor make your message as you're speaking. Why I say that? When you know your message, you know the ultimate point that you want to make. But when you're talking to people through their through their body language, they're kind of telling you whether they're feeling what you're saying, they're not really, you're losing them a little bit, or they're leaning towards to hear more. So you may want to just do A, B, and C, but just by reading their body language, you can tell that they want you to go all the way to Z. So again, know your message, but also tailor make it as you're speaking to make sure that you're not just getting your message out and you're just leaving them, but you're getting your message out and you're reaching them, you're affecting them. One of the things I never want people to tell me is, man, you made me feel so good. And then that's it. I don't just want you to feel good. I want whatever message that I'm putting out there to cause you to shift, to change, to go in a different direction. You know, you were considering giving up, but now after listening to my message, you decided to pick up your stuff and to keep on going, right? So that is my plan. That's ultimately what I would tell my people.
No, thanks, Donslow. So if anybody wants some support or want to get in touch to know more about your services, how you could help, what's the best contact details? How people can contact you?
Absolutely. I can be reached on my website at uncagedconsultancy.com. That's UNCAGEDCONCULTANCY.com. I can also be reached on LinkedIn, linkedin.com / Donslow Brown. You can also reach me on most social media platforms, Instagram at dbrown_speaks, Facebook, Donslow Brown, as well as on TikTok. You can reach me on TikTok. So again, Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok. Did I miss anything? Facebook, anything? Yep, that's about it. Instagram. So you can reach me on most social media platforms. And I also have a YouTube,
Oh,
Parul.
you got YouTube as well. Oh,
I do. Ironically enough, it started recently. However, I'm still loading videos. But again, I would love if you want more content, you want to hear more about me, some of my ideas, some of the things that I'm doing. We're doing an Uncaged Consultancy where I'm going next. Because you know we're all in a journey, probably. So if you want to hear about my journey some more, please feel free to visit my YouTube. It is it was this. Now it's Overstand podcast. Overstand podcast. If you type in overstand, like understand, overstand,
understand. Okay.
overstand pod. Yes. So it's gonna so and that's another thing too. There's a podcast coming as well. So again, all these things are currently being worked on, but I would love the support, friends. I would love the support.
Uh, well, Donslow, thank you very much for sharing your knowledge and experience with people. So that's been really helpful. So, audience, I hope you've taken some golden nuggets from Donslow about effective communication, the importance of it. And please do share, like our videos because you never know. By liking and sharing, could be helping somebody else. So those details will be on our text description of below the video. So you can click and connect with Donslow as well directly. So stay tuned for more videos and we'll be coming back with more subject matters. So Donslow, thank you very much for your time and have a great day.
Absolutely. You as well, Paul. Thank you so much.
Thank you.